Because who else is in there? Barry Keoghan's in there. I think Jeremy Allen White's in there too,
Which I do
right?
not find attractive at all. Sabrina Carpenter, please let me know what you see in him. Please, because
Barry?
I can't see a bloody thing.
Wow, Sarah, hot takes on Barry Keoghan.
Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, and that's okay.
Let's find out on our Instagram, because I need somebody to take the hate off the fly away home thing. So maybe it's the Barry Keoghan hot take here.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
You're here, you found us, you made it to us. You love watching romantic comedies, which is great because we do as well.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have Eat,
Pray,
Love. We didn't plan on doing it that way. Sarah missed her cue.
I did.
Do we have a message on Instagram today?
Yes, we have a review from I'm Feeling Sublime.
Oh, I love reviews. Hey, please leave us reviews, no matter like wherever you're listening to us.
Great reviews and banter. I've recently started listening and am enjoying the podcast. I haven't come across too many husband and wife duos hosting a podcast. It's fun. Good movie choices also. And don't worry, Devin, I think Fly Away Home was weird too.
Thank you.
I saw it as a kid and thought, meh. A movie like that could only have been made in the 90s. I'm surprised you caused such an uproar on Instagram over that.
Yo, people hate me over my opinions on Fly Away Home on our Instagram account.
He has disturbed the geese-loving community.
They are out there. They are vibrant and passionate.
That they are.
And they get upset about critique about Jeff Daniels' Goose Daddy. So
yeah,
just be aware. Eat, Pray, Love is a 2010 biographical romantic drama.
Oh, wow.
It's based on Elizabeth Gilbert, or is it Gilbert? Her 2006 memoir of the same name, Eat, Pray, Love. Sometimes you just gotta add a little French spice.
Add a little French flair.
Yeah. Eat, Pray, Love is the story of Liz, played by Julia Roberts. Liz seemingly has it all. Successful career, financial stability. She has a marriage of 8 years. Yet something is missing from Liz's life after a snap divorce and a quick affair with a young actor, David, played by James Franco. Liz decides to embark on a transformative journey to Italy, India, and eventually Bali in an effort to seek self-discovery. What are your thoughts on Eat, Pray, Love?
Mom, when did you accept the life you had?
Oh, my baby. Always searching for something.
Your underwear, my queen.
Just folded my delicates.
Oh my God, baby, you are in so much trouble.
You know how people start resembling their dogs? You used to look like Steven. Now you kind of look like David.
I need to change. Since I was 15, I've either been with a guy or breaking up with a guy. I have not given myself 2 weeks of a breather just to deal with myself.
You want to go away for a year?
I used to have this appetite for my life, and it is just gone. I want to go someplace where I can marvel at something. I'm going to Italy, and then I'm going to India, and I'm going to end the year in Bali.
I have seen this movie once before.
Okay.
And I thought it was good. I love Julia Roberts. So
who doesn't, Sarah?
A few podcast episodes ago, I said I love me some Ryan Gosling, the smile and the slow-mo of anything Ryan Gosling. When Julia Roberts smiles,
it's amazing.
It is like the sun has come out from behind the clouds.
Oh yeah,
and brightened my day. She is just like, I just see her face and I'm like, like that is just, I am so happy after.
I think everybody feels that way about her smile though. And you notice when they make her smile in a scene, it's like, I get it. I totally get it. I feel like and this isn't a critique of Julia Roberts, but I feel like you can see every single one of her teeth when she smiles. It's just such a big smile. And that's a good thing.
Powerful, wonderful, beautiful smile.
Yes.
And it's just so entrancing, and I love it. I love every second of it. And this movie is, it's so different than any that we've done before. I mean, the romance does not actually start until 99 minutes into the movie.
Don't get me started.
It is a long movie. It's over 2 hours, and we haven't done one this long in quite a while. I don't really know if by the end of it she really has, like, I think she's learned some things about herself, but she still looks to others to help make her decisions. And that was my kind of thing with it. I was like, okay, well, you're still asking people for permission to be okay and accept love. Like Katuk at the end, where she says, like, I broke up with him because, like, it's just not, I couldn't find balance. And he says, but that is balance. Like, that is part of the balance, is being unbalanced, right? And so she's like, oh, okay. And then she chases after him. And it's like, you needed that okay to go and do that in order to be fulfilled and actually follow. Like, I don't know how much she learned, you know?
I agree individually with all the things you've said. This film was not what I had expected going into it, but it was also exactly what I expected. This is my first watch.
Oh.
So going in with bright eyes. Full transparency, we did this one in lieu of The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, God, yes.
Which had been requested a few times. And I felt like it really fit the vibe of, like, summer solstice just passed. You know, there's like this little whimsy. It feels like adventure.
Travel, right?
Yeah, adventures around the corner around this time of the year, I feel. Yeah, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty has seemingly disappeared, but we do have Eat, Pray, Love, so I thought, hey, like that's going to be pretty similar, right? Not totally. I will say, though, some things I love. Julia Roberts, obviously. Like, you can't not love Julia Roberts in this. Javier Bardem was a really cool choice for a love interest, especially because he often... Like, he hasn't become pigeonholed, but he's ended up playing some really iconic villains, which makes it fascinating that they're like, and now he's going to fall in love with Julia Roberts over here. And I thought he did great.
I thought he did a really good job.
I thought he brought a lot of unique and different aspects to love interest that we don't often see. Same complaint as you, though, Sarah. I'm like, I thought we were going to meet him in Italy. Yeah. Just from the trailers, I'm like, oh, great. Julia Roberts goes to Italy, and then we meet Javier Bardem, and then she continues on going other places, whatever. We don't, like, why did we hide the love interest until the last 30 minutes of the movie?
Yeah.
That drives me crazy. And I mean, you listen to the pod, if you listen to a lot of our episodes, you know, that's a classic Devin thing. I want to see the love. I want to see it grow. I want to see it develop over a story. It felt like it was like the final act, and they're like, and here's Javier. And you're like, oh, he just got here now? And yeah, I agree with you as well. I felt like we got through the final hurdle of the movie, and it was like, okay, and now she's off on a boat with the guy, and you're like, oh, we just sorted out all of our main conflicts. I thought we were going to have like a good 20 minutes of her like really at peace with herself, but it felt like it all kind of got wrapped up in a bow really quickly, and it's like, and now she's off. She solved everything.
Yeah, I think it was, and it's funny. Okay, when she left Italy, I actually thought that she was more happy than she had ever been, like it portrayed. And then she gets to India, and I think that was the place where she dealt with a lot of the things that she needed to deal with, like from her divorce and her breaking up with David, et cetera, et cetera. But she didn't leave, like, I think she left India at peace. Like, that was the finding the peace. And then Bali was, I guess, bringing everything back together. And I think that was evident, but I do think still that she was the happiest I found coming out of Italy.
Who wouldn't be?
I mean, I love Italy.
For 45 minutes, Julia Roberts ate lasagna and pasta and just
Love
wine, and that was it.
Yeah. learned Italian, and yeah. I kind of left the movie being like, I don't know how much, like I said, she learned or and again, it is based on a true story. So I mean, this would be the persons who wrote the book of her life, how she felt at the end of it. I don't know. We should ask her. Did you gain everything that you wanted out of what you did?
Or maybe there's a lot in the memoir that we're missing from the movie adaptation. I did see a lot of reviews from people saying that they read the book, thought it was fantastic, watched the movie, and they're like, I didn't quite connect all the dots. So maybe that's where we're missing between the movie adaptation and the memoir.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Perhaps. Maybe I should read the book.
Put it on the list.
Okay, so let's dive in. So Liz travels across the world to Bali to meet a medicine man to talk about her relationship. This is how the movie opens. She is a journalist, but isn't there for that. Katuk tells her, the medicine man, tells her that she will be married twice, lose all of her money, but will get it all back and come back to Bali and live there for a few months and teach him English. He was a very cute man. 6 months later, her husband doesn't really know what he wants to do with his life, but she also doesn't know if she wants to be married to him anymore. They live in New York.
Yeah, and they're fairly affluent, it seems. She's definitely successful, and he seems like he's finding himself when we meet him.
Yes, and you can tell they got married very young. It's said multiple times throughout the movie. He might want to go back to school, and she kind of realizes that they're not on the same page and believes that Katuk's prophecy might be coming true and that this might be the shorter marriage of the two. That night, she wakes up and prays for the first time. She gets back to bed, and her husband tells her he doesn't want to go to Aruba with her on her next journalist trip, and she says, I don't want to be married to you.
From 0 to 100 real quick.
0 to 100.
I prefer not to go on a trip with you. I prefer to never be married to you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Her best friend in the movie, played by Viola Davis, they go to a play together, and she becomes infatuated with someone from the play, James Franco, who plays David in this movie. And since she has, moved in with Viola Davis's character, her being her best friend, and her husband, and is living there, she starts this relationship with David. Is James Franco, I should say, the quintessential dirty, raunchy, I just want to have a sex-filled affair? Is he the guy that every girl pictures when it's I don't want anything, I just want to bang a dude? I mean, is this the idea of you? Right? Maybe a little. Just a short little love fling?
I'm asking you.
I mean, yeah. James Franco? Yes, please. I wouldn't say no to James.
James in this movie.
We're on our first name basis.
Pineapple Express James is a little bit dirtier.
No.
This James, get the guy a haircut, and yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I think he was an artsy type that she could... Honestly, I don't think she realized or thought that it would go long term. Mm-hmm. I think she just... wanted almost a little bit of a rebound, Is James Franco the ultimate rebound, in terms of that's the vibe you're looking for? This character in the movie, yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think she just needed something to kind of get over that she broke up her relationship for no other reason other than it wasn't fitting what she wanted in life. Which is fine, but there's James.
Banging it with Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Get upset with him. Decide you're going to go to Italy instead.
Yeah, exactly. So she's contemplating what she wants to do with her life because she's lost too at this point. And so Liz goes to the lawyer's office to meet with her ex-husband. Turns out he doesn't want a divorce, and he's representing himself because he did a semester at a law school.
Which really paints a picture of his character.
Yes, he clearly has no desire to actually stick to one thing. He is very lost as well. So he believes that it's a phase. He even sings a song calling her a quitter, and Liz has just had it. She just wants the divorce to be done. Offered half of everything and he won't take it. She offers him everything and he still won't take it. So they kind of leave it. They let it settle. Everything's going great with the new guy, David, till her friend Viola Davis's husband says they resemble each other like dogs sometimes resemble their owners, and it basically all goes downhill from this point on.
Do you think our dog looks like us?
I don't know. I
don't
don't think
we look like each other now?
No,
yeah, I certainly don't think that.
I hope not.
I think maybe our dog looks a little like us.
I think you need to ask somebody outside of the circle of us to ask if Frankie looks like us.
All right, Romcom Rewind on Instagram. We're going to post our dog, post us. You let us know. Does the dog look like us? We have it.
I don't think so.
We will come to a decision.
I guess we'll know, right? Oh my God. Liz decides that she needs something more in life to feel something. So she's decided to go to Italy, then to go to India, and then finish off the year in Bali. She travels to Italy, rents a rundown apartment, gets a tutor to learn Italian, sees the sights, and eats pasta. She starts making friends and learning how to be a real Italian. Her friends ask her what her word is, that they all have an essence for word. Like, you know, that you as a person have a word that describes who you are at your essence. I think that's a better way to describe it. She says a writer, and they say, no. Like, that's what you do. And we've talked about this on the pod before. And
that is a very European outlook on things.
it is that work does not define you as a person, whereas North America...
It's the second thing you say.
It's, you know...
Hey, what's your name? What do you do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you introduce yourself, hi, I'm, you know, so-and-so, and this is what I do. Or the first question back to you is, oh, what do you do?
Yeah.
And it's somewhat North America identifies themselves as what they do day to day. Whereas in Europe, it's more about family. And not to say we're not about family. I don't mean it like that. But that's not the second thing that you say is your work. It might be the fifth.
Yeah, what do you do? They'd say, well, I snowboard, I play piano.
Yes,
like
your hobbies.
Exactly. That is who they are. Whereas, yeah, we identify more based on our occupation.
Yeah, and so it's determined that one of Liz's friends, Sophie, says, you are a woman in search of your word, which I think in essence becomes a good part, and I keep saying the word essence, I like it, it fits really well, what she's trying to find for the rest of the movie.
I've got a question.
Okay.
This is obviously a memoir written by
Liz.
Elizabeth Gilbert. Couple years later, it ends up being a movie where we have Julia Roberts cast as Elizabeth Gilbert. And I looked up what the actual Elizabeth Gilbert looks like. Very pretty person. Julia Roberts is like an A+ all-time 10 out of 10.
Yes.
You know, like who would ever... I'm sure there was a casting director who was like, we're going to get Julia Roberts in on this one. But like, I've got a question. Like, if you wrote a romantic comedy about your life or a romance drama, whatever it might be, who would you cast to play yourself? Or who would you cast to play me, and maybe I'll cast you? Or what however you want to do this. Do you have any thoughts?
Okay, so, I mean, I feel like that's such an odd question to answer for yourself because, like, obviously I'm going to pick somebody who is... Do they have to look like me? Because, like,
no.
I would say, like, a good old Amelia Clark with a U.S. accent, you know? But I don't think she is stunning, and I don't think I look like her at all.
Okay, I didn't have Amelia Clark down for you.
Okay.
But you would say Amelia Clark for yourself. I like that.
Or Jennifer Lawrence, because she is dang funny. I, again, am not that pretty nor funny, but I just would like her. I like her essence. So, you know, okay,
Drink
I'll stop
every
with that.
time Sarah says essence.
I will stop saying the word. But I like her being, right? Like, I like everything, you know, she's hilarious.
Yeah, okay. I was going more era specific, like mid 20s was
okay, I was going to say, because, like, I'm thinking, like, 30s, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm thinking mid 20s. So who I would cast to play you, I've got, you might hate this one, because this person's a little bit divisive, but in terms of essence, yeah, I think you're somewhere in between these two people.
Okay.
I think you're in between either a Zendaya.
Okay.
You got a little bit of spunk, a little bit of attitude.
Yeah, I like Zendaya.
A little fire. Or Haley Steinfeld, who's a little bit quirkier and zanier, you know?
Oh, I like Haley Steinfeld, too.
Okay.
So those are good picks.
I know. I'm pretty good at this.
Okay, so do you have your picks for you? Who would cast?
I have one guy who I think, like I would be like, yeah, he could do me for sure.
Okay.
He could do a Devin.
Okay.
Do you have anybody for me?
Yes, I have one person for you.
All right, let's hear it.
I want to tell you. I want you to tell us first.
Okay, I got Jeremy Allen White.
Oh, interesting take.
But not like not shameless Jeremy Allen White, but like like let's say 60% shameless and like 40% the bear, but not as mean and angry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
I would say Miles Teller.
Oh, see, I went like 20-year-olds, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, at one point they were all 20, so.
Okay, young Miles Teller then.
Yeah.
You know, Miles Teller's so hit and miss for me.
Really?
I love him in Whiplash.
Oh God.
And there are a few other things that I really liked him in, but other things I did not.
I thought you'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I don't mind it. Okay. I also had Timothée Chalamet written down for myself, but that's like casting Julia Roberts as yourself. Like Timothée Chalamet is disgustingly lovable.
Yes,
like,
well, I actually was conversing with somebody on Instagram this week saying, okay, so I had put on Instagram about the rat boyfriend. and that whole thing, which is not like, I'm not really here for it, but we were chatting, me and Alyssa were chatting about it, saying that the only reason why we like it is because of Timothy. Because he is
is he a rat boy?
Well, he was in the article that I had posted, and we were saying like that's the only reason why we'd be on board. Only him. If he was not in that cadre, like bye, like no, thank you.
Because who else is in there? Barry Keoghan's in there. I think Jeremy Allen White's in there too,
Which I do
right?
not find attractive at all. Sabrina Carpenter, please let me know what you see in him. Please, because
Barry?
I can't see a bloody thing.
Wow, Sarah, hot takes on Barry Keoghan.
Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, and that's okay.
Let's find out on our Instagram, because I need somebody to take the hate off the fly away home thing. So maybe it's the Barry Keoghan hot take here.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to start like a riot.
Oh,
but,
please do.
I mean, Timothy is, yeah, like very good looking.
Like I said, it's like casting Julia Roberts or like Brad Pitt to play yourself. Like that's the top cream of people. Timothy Chalamet is not. I just mean like his depth of character. I think he could play anybody.
I think he probably could too. I agree with you.
Maybe Tom Holland could play me too. You know?
Oh yes, okay, in your 20s, yeah, like that would be really good. Like
anyway,
that.
so
yes,
Liz is in Italy.
Yeah, Liz is in Italy. She's trying to find her word. Her and Sophie go to Naples, where they chat about food, the pressures of weight gain, and being a woman, and they just don't care anymore.
I have no interest in being obese. I'm just through with the guilt. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this pizza, and then we're going to go watch the soccer game. And tomorrow, we're going to go on a little date and buy ourselves some bigger jeans.
Liz has created such a home in Italy with her friends and writes to David back home via email, saying that their relationship was broken and that it's officially time to end things. She is making her friends a Thanksgiving dinner, so it's got to be around November, before she leaves that week for India. Fast forward, Liz has made it to India. She's having a hard time connecting and finding peace here. She meets Richard from Texas. That's literally how he's introduced, who gives her a run for her money with giving her the runaround, saying, you know, like, why are you here? You really need to put in the work, and like calls her groceries and like makes fun of her for eating so much. But he's really there to kind of encourage her to find inner peace.
Played by Richard Jenkins, who I love. He calls her groceries all the time because he thinks she eats a lot, which I found was kind of like a weird... maybe like a weird subplot where like them eating a lot in Italy became a point, and then all of a sudden he's like, hey, groceries, I noticed you're eating a lot of food. I'm like, wow, feels like a weird thing to just keep on poking Liz about how much she's eating. But one of those characters that you start out hating, then you learn his story, and he ends up being very helpful and just wanting to help Liz on her journey.
I thought I was over him, but nothing.
Big deal. So you fell in love with someone.
I really miss him.
So miss him. Send him some light and love every time you think of him, then drop it.
Yeah, so Richard and Liz attend Tulsi's wedding, who is another person they met at the at where they're staying in India.
Ashram, right?
Ashram, yes, sorry. I just couldn't remember the name off the top of my head. Tulsi doesn't want to get married. It's an arranged marriage, but... you know, in that instance, Liz is reminded of her own wedding. And I think, you know, it's a way for Liz to start to release her guilt that she feels towards her marriage getting, you know, getting divorced, and her guilt towards that, I think. When they get back, Richard tells her his tragic story of how he lost his family to his drinking. My
best scene, actually.
Okay, you may proceed.
My best scene, just because it was the only weep warning I have in this whole movie. Which isn't to say that Julia's performance wasn't strong and wasn't impactful, but just, man, the way Richard Jenkins delivers this story of a dad going out drinking and driving home and not realizing his son was playing in the driveway, and he teased the story up like you think the son passed away, and the son has not. But it was man, the emotion that this guy brings in like 10 minutes of screen time total, something like that. You know, he's in like 6 or 7 scenes. Wow. How impressive.
Well, he's a great actor.
He's a great actor. We've seen him in a lot of really cool
yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, and a few weeks, I think, from this point, Richard is leaving. He has found his peace. He's found his forgiveness. And he advises Liz to believe in love again and, you know, to take that leap when it comes, which, again, I think is just her going through the motions of forgiving herself and forgiving the guilt that she has. The ashram asks Liz to be a hostess for the devotees coming for a 10-day retreat. And she jumps at the opportunity. She also meets the rogue elephant that has escaped the circus. Now, this transition, the transition from when she leaves Italy and goes to India is quite more apparent, obviously, that she has then landed in India and has gone on that part of the journey. Whereas the transition from India to Bali, I actually had to rewind it a little bit to say, like, okay, now are we in Bali?
We're in Bali
We are
now.
in Bali.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in Bali
We're
now.
here. We made it to Bali.
Yes. So in Bali, she visits Katuk, and at first he doesn't remember her, but then he does, and he remembers her as the sad old woman, but knows that he will make a difference in her life. And so she helps him copy all of the cures and spells that he has.
So now we've established our 3 main locations: Italy, India, Bali. That is where Liz goes on these adventures to basically find herself. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you're traveling alone specifically, I've got the list of 25 best places in no particular order to travel alone for a self-discovery trip.
Okay.
Now, most of these are individual cities. Like, it's a direct location.
Cities. Okay. Okay. I'm going to say, like, Reykjavik in Iceland.
Iceland. Wow, Sarah's going way off the board really quick. I don't think Iceland's on here.
No way, because
No.
that's like one of the... I have seen several things that have come out that said Iceland is a great place to go for, like, by yourself, like solo traveling. But I guess not. Okay.
I mean, I'm sure it's very safe. You've been to Iceland. I have not.
Yes, and it is a place where I would, you know, and I think Walter Mitty.
Walter Mitty had a great time in Iceland.
Would also agree
Okay.
that it is a place of self-discovery. Absolutely.
Where else you got?
Okay, let's see. Let's go somewhere in British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah, Vancouver.
Okay, Vancouver.
BC is on the list, which is funny because as Canadians, like, I feel like we all know somebody, if you're from Canada, who went to Vancouver or went to BC and is just like living in a van somewhere.
Yeah.
It's very like whatever you picture to be like, oh, like people just like enjoy herbal remedies and live in a van.
Coombs.
Coombs, Vancouver Island, or they become a beach bum in like Banff or something like that.
A ski bum. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Sorry, I said beach bum.
Yeah,
ski
there
bum.
are no warm beaches there.
Also, a lot of Australians who go to Banff for the same thing, which I find
to
interesting.
be a ski bum, for sure.
Okay, what else you got?
Okay, somewhere tropical.
Yeah, okay. There's many.
Oh, there's many. Okay, let's do Southeast Asia, like Laos or
Okay. I've got Indonesia.
Okay.
I've got Singapore.
Okay.
And I think I've got I've got Bangkok, Thailand. Yeah, Laos and Vietnam are all on the list.
Okay, so a lot of Southeast.
Of Southeast Asia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never been. I have never had the chance to go. It looks beautiful, and I mean, hopefully I'll get the chance one day. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, can you get one more? Let's see if you can do one more.
Costa Rica?
Costa Rica not on the list. I'm surprised you didn't go Europe for any of your picks.
Well, I was gonna get there. Somewhere like Tuscany, Italy.
Rome, Italy is actually on this list.
Okay, so Italy is on the list.
Italy's on the list.
I could definitely see Italy being on it. I could also see like Portugal or Spain being on the list too.
Would Portugal be your personal pick
I think Portugal
to go find
would be
yourself?
my
Sarah has an affinity for Portugal.
I love Portugal. Yes.
Yeah, other places like in the States, New Orleans made the list.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Germany, Berlin, Germany, Portland, Oregon, which I feel like is just an extension of Vancouver.
Same
vibes.
Same lifestyle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I mean,
that's a horrible pick.
Maybe that's like the opposite, where you're not finding yourself, you're losing yourself.
You're losing money, probably. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more to do in Las Vegas than gamble, but
Sin City.
Come on, guys. South Korea, Seoul is on the list. Hong Kong, Barcelona,
Oh, yes, Barcelona.
Amsterdam, New Zealand, which would be maybe one of my picks.
Yes, I would probably pick New Zealand as
New
well.
Zealand
I have
would be
not
really cool.
had the chance to go, but I would love to one day.
So there you
Cool.
go. Rome, Italy on the list. There actually was a location in India on this list. Bali, however, did not make the list,
I'm surprised.
but a lot of locations around Bali, so we'll take it as a win.
Katuk gives Liz her daily schedule: morning meditation, enjoy the day in Bali, evening come and see him again, and then finish off the day with another meditation. So Liz is out riding her bike, enjoying Bali, and she almost gets run over by a guy in a Jeep. She heads to a healer in town, and the woman invites her to a beach party that evening. She goes, and the guy who almost kills her apologizes. Felipe, yeah. And tries to buy her a drink, but instead of him, she dances with a guy named Ian. Ian later wants to go skinny dipping down by the water and is all ready to go buck naked. And she decides, you know what? This was me 20 years ago. I can't do this. You're too young for me. While she's about to head out, he bumps into Felipe bumps into her and asks if she needs a ride home.
Felipe, our love interest, Sarah.
It is
Javier
finally,
Bardem.
yes.
How do you feel about the meet cute? I don't think we've ever had
I like that. I
almost
like
getting
it.
struck by a vehicle meet cute.
I actually like it because it's otherwise, I think, and this is my what should have been, I think, for the movie. Obviously, I know this is a true story, but if it had not been a real book written, I think I would have liked to have the kismet or the destiny piece of her having like almost met him in Italy or met him in Italy and then meeting him in India or like almost and then him like them officially meeting, right?
It. Oh, I like that a lot, Sarah.
Yeah.
Especially because that was one of my complaints. Like Javier Bardem is actually Spanish, so I thought we'll meet him in Europe at some point. No, all the way in Bali.
Yeah, and I think like there's that aspect to him where he is also kind of a nomad or a trying to find himself and
42 stamps on his passport.
Yeah,
he says.
right.
Yeah.
Like he's a traveler. He's somebody who enjoys an adventure, and I think it would have been cool to have them almost meet and then just briefly and then like come back together, and the more they met they just like got closer and closer, and then but again, this is a true story, so you can't rewrite what's really happening, but yeah.
How do we feel about Javier as a love interest? Like, are we attracted to him
yes,
as an
in
audience?
This movie, yes.
Okay, yeah.
I am anyway. I thought he was a really good character, like casted for this role, because I think you could have gone someone else, North American or British or but I liked that it was actually, I mean, he is Spanish playing a Portuguese, someone from Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking Portuguese, sorry, that's what I meant.
Course, yeah.
But I liked that change. I liked that that piece to this movie. I liked it.
He just gives a certain like
Spice.
I said, a different vibe than you normally see in a romantic comedy, but also like we're gonna get to it in a sec, but it was almost my best scene. Actually, it is my. I'll have two best scenes this movie. So why don't you move on and I'll tell you my best scene.
Okay, sounds good. So he drops her off. She goes in. She falls asleep. Later that afternoon, he shows up with a hangover cure.
Good afternoon. How are you?
What are you doing here?
Well, I've brought you Huayan's famous hangover cure because you drank a little bit too much last night. And here it is. Very delicious, as you can see, and very tasty.
Do you make it a habit of just walking into people's houses?
Do you make the habit of sleeping with your front door wide open?
She says, you know what, let's start with a coffee. And so we're off to a great start. He gets his reading from Katuk, just like she had at the very beginning. It's very accurate. His son comes to visit for spring break and gets his blessing from his son that he is able to just move on with his life and find a new love, which seems to be Liz. One night while they're both reading, he puts on music, they dance, and then they sleep together. Before we know it, it's been 2 weeks since she's seen Katuk, and Liz is very happy. There's another piece to this too. Liz is always trying to help her friends, or she kind of has, she's a very kind heart. So she shares with all her friends that she's met along the way. I just thought this was a nice gesture, including the ones that she still has back home in New York. And as a birthday present, instead of obviously like having a party. She's traveling, asks for donations for the for Wayan, and they gain $18,000 American for her to purchase a house for Wayan and her daughter, which I thought was really, really sweet. Felipe brings her to the beach to surprise her with a trip. She's a bit freaked out, especially when he tells her that he is in love with her.
Look at me in the eyes and tell me, do you love me or don't you love me not? It's very easy. I know you feel the same way I do. Why can't you say it back?
I don't know why. Why can't I?
Because you're terrified, my love. But listen, it's fine. Me too.
Liz decides she's leaving and gives Katuk a goodbye gift of all of the photocopies she's made, and he tells her she's like a daughter and asks why she ended things with Felipe. After her conversation with Katuk, she runs to find Felipe and leaves a note to meet her at the docks at sunset. And of course, she takes the leap to go on this adventure, the adventure of love with Felipe.
I decided on my word. Attraversiamo. It means let's cross over.
And that is the end of our film. That's how we wrap everything up. And like I said, I like the way it wrapped up. I think we ended up with the love interest we wanted to end up with. It just felt a little bit like, did she complete her journey? I felt like she did, but I felt like it was wrapped up very quickly. We had a little bit of conflict at the end, and it was kind of just smacked together like, oh, don't worry. They're fine. They're fine. They're good. Quick facts.
Julia Roberts only agreed to film her Bali scenes on location if the producers agreed to allow her to have her family over during the shoot. The movie was shipped to theaters under the codenamed Guest House. Rome's two professional soccer teams, SS Lazio and AS Roma, are fierce rivals. In Elizabeth Gilbert's original novel, Mr. Spaghetti was an SS Lazio fan. The filmmakers made him an AS Roma fan, enraging local SS Lazio fans.
How dare they? Also, I thought Mr. Spaghetti might have been specific to the movie. Love that that's in the original memoir.
In the book, Felipe is 15 years older than Elizabeth. In reality, Javier Bardem and Julia Roberts are the same age. Julia Roberts invited her friend Gary Marshall to direct the film, but Marshall declined because he was unwilling to travel outside America to the locations where the film takes place. However, during the meet, Marshall offered Roberts a role in the movie Valentine's Day, which also comes out in 2010, on which he was working on, which she accepted. This, in turn, allowed Ryan Murphy to step in as the director. This was Julia Roberts' biggest box office opening since America's Sweethearts in 2001. The casting of Javier Bardem as Felipe was criticized as the character is Brazilian and Bardem is Spanish. Julia Roberts claims she gained 10 pounds during the Rome segments.
They actually put it in the movie then because they talk about that at length in Naples, right?
Richard Jenkins claimed that the real Richard did not have a thick accent, but Jenkins figured it would be distracting for the audience if a character named Richard from Texas didn't speak in a Texas accent. The film cast includes 3 Oscar winners, Julia Roberts, Javier Bardem, and Viola Davis, and 2 Oscar nominees, Richard Jenkins and James Franco.
Oh, I thought Billy Crudup would be in there for sure. Guess not.
Although Julia Roberts is left-handed at the ashram, she is seen eating her meal using her right hand. This is because in India and many other Asian cultures, it's considered taboo to touch food with the left hand.
Really? Wow, that's wild.
One of the very few PG-13 rated movies to use the word mother effer. Richard's lines, she thinks I changed my name to mother effer. I'm not going to say them. The MPAA originally rated it R solely because of this line, but director Ryan Murphy and producer Dee Gardner successfully appealed to them to re-rate it. The book was listed as one of Oprah Winfrey's favorites, which led to Julia Roberts' interest in the book and her optioning the rights to make the film out of it.
Is like Reese Witherspoon's book club the next Oprah Winfrey? Like, you know, if she puts her stamp on something, you got to get it. Does anybody now have the market on like, you got to buy this thing because so-and-so said it?
But didn't you see the TikTok on like her whole production company and her like book Like it's how she can get the rights to make the movies by it's this whole like crazy thing.
Yeah, so the way it works is that if Reese Witherspoon has you on her podcast to talk about the book and it's one of Reese's book club picks, she owns the future rights to film an adaptation of that novel.
Yeah.
Or whatever it might be. Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping Legally Blonde, the TV show is better than her last movie. So I have high hopes for her book club / movie creations. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I think I've never once read any of her book recommendations.
Me neither. Maybe you did and you didn't realize, like you didn't do it because of it, right?
I mean, my genre's fantasy or romance fantasy.
She's not really.
I don't think she's into that. So
I think TikTok as a whole has just the market on like, you go into any bookstore and it's like, these are things people are talking about on TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok, what is it? Book Talk.
Book Talk, yeah.
A casting associate saw Joe Lipari do a set about teaching yoga at Gotham Comedy Club and asked if he'd be interested in being involved in the movie's yoga scenes. Unfortunately, the scenes were cut from the final film. This is the third film that Julia Roberts has made in Rome. The other two are Everyone Says I Love You from 1996 and Ocean's 12 in 2004.
Oh, yes.
The hostess role that Liz is asked to take on is given the name of Susie Cream Cheese. This is a reference to the WASP-ish, so waspish, conforming and unimaginative, sweet but shallow meme used in the work of Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention on the 1966 counterculture album Freak Out. It is similar to the term Barbie that is used in an ashram in India, shows the influence of American counterculture, as only a small part of the population would have been familiar with it, the hippies and freaks among the baby boomers. This is one of the first feature films to shoot with Kodak Vision 3 200T 5213 film stock. When Liz returns to Bali and is riding her bike in the first scene, you can see Felipe's car pass her. In 2016,
Really? Wow, that's a good pick.
In 2016, author of the source novel and main character Elizabeth Gilbert, played by Julia Roberts in this movie, announced that she was ending her 9-year marriage to Jose Nunez, played by Javier Bardem in this movie, after realizing her true feelings for author, musician, and hairstylist Rhea Elias, her best friend of 15 years. They, I believe, got together in 2016. Rhea unfortunately passed away in 2018 from cancer, but Elias was not mentioned in the book or movie.
So wait, in real life, Javier and
yes, his name is Jose.
Julia Roberts. They don't make it.
They don't make it.
Oh,
they make it 9 years. Yeah,
that's sad.
Javier Bardem doesn't appear until 99 minutes into the movie.
Gah! Honorable mentions. Because you skipped over it, the best scene that I was looking for.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll say it now. It's fine. I love that we presented a male, and like Javier Bardem is like, he is a strong male actor, who was so emotional about his son leaving, and who was such he was the primary parent at the home. They talk about that. He was so emotional. He starts crying when his son leaves. Which I totally appreciate. I'm an overly emotional father. I cry. It's fine. It is what it is. But I appreciated that we made that a part of his character. It's something we don't often see, especially in a love interest in a movie. And he did it so gracefully. He did it so believably. I watched and I'm like, man, yeah, that's a dad saying goodbye to his son and getting emotional about it and crying a little bit. Like, I love that we saw that portrayed in the movie. It was really beautiful. Would have been my best scene.
I apologize that I didn't get the goodbye son in there. Sorry for that.
You gotta get. Was that a bison joke? Bison? No.
No, it wasn't a bison joke. I apologize for not having that good dad joke in there. My honorable mention is Julia Roberts' smile, which I said off the top.
Hell yeah. What should have been?
I already said my what should have been.
Can we do top finding yourself movies real quick?
Sure.
Because like we said, we had The Secret Life of Walter Mitty on our list.
Yeah.
Did this in lieu of that. What else would be on like the top 5, top 10 finding yourself movies?
I think the movie Wild from Reese Witherspoon.
Yes. Isn't there? There's Into the Wild as well.
So there's Into the Wild as well, which I would say had a tragic ending.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story. Into the Wild. in northern Canada, actually.
I thought it was Alaska.
Oh, it was Alaska. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Oh my gosh. Yes, Alaska.
Which is north of Canada, so that's still accurate.
Yeah, tragic ending. But again, a Finding Yourself, I think, movie. Oh gosh, what else do you have?
I mean, it doesn't really count, but I always felt, and you're gonna roll your eyes,
Probably.
like 500 Days of Summer had a
God.
great Finding Yourself moment.
I will agree to disagree on that one with you. I don't think so.
I mean, he didn't travel. He traveled to his own apartment to find himself. He did not find himself, though.
But I don't know. He just tried so hard, and he tried to make it work for so long. Like, I don't know. I don't see it, but
then he found himself eventually.
Did he?
I
Because
feel anyway.
he got together with a girl named Autumn instead of Summer.
Yeah, but autumn's totally different than
Oh my God,
different
I
seasons,
can't.
guys. Like, come on.
Different
This is so obvious. What else you got? Anything?
Oh,
You listening? You're screaming at your pod. There's an easy Finding Yourself movie that we're missing.
which one?
Yeah, I don't know.
There
just saying the
definitely
person
is.
listening is doing that.
Oh, for sure. Definitely, because I know that there's others, and
There's like a million.
Yeah, so please send us yours.
It's funny to prep you're thinking that we don't prep the pod. We do. Sarah mentioned like 10 movies yesterday.
I did.
So I just lobbed one at you, assuming she's gonna knock. We're playing t-ball here.
Well, it's funny.
Forgotten all of them.
I have, yes. And when you're on the spot and you're recording, sometimes you forget all the good ones that you had yesterday. It's like they go in your brain and then they go out, and it's like, okay, I've thought of that. I've already done that. But yes, I did have a bunch yesterday. I was like, yeah, what about this one? And what about
this one and this one?
This one's good too.
Which is why I prepped nothing. I just asked you the question.
Oh, dang. I should have actually wrote them down.
Oh, man. And my only other one should have been, we talked about it. I feel like you could shave a good 20 minutes off this movie. Looking up the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Critic and audience reviews. Like, this movie actually, financially, it was a great success.
Yeah.
Reviews were not nice to it, but the most that everybody can agree with is that you could have shaved about 20 minutes off this somewhere.
I think you probably actually could have shaved about 30, but
Okay,
but
fair enough.
but I agree. I think it was a lot of self-reflection, and I think 30 minutes or so for me.
Yeah. Overall rewatchability.
Okay. My rewatchability is as follows: chemistry 4, storyline 3, thirst factor 4, imagination 3.2, soundtrack 2.2, cheese 3.5 for an overall score of 3.31 out of 5.
How dare you with that soundtrack?
Was it good?
Oh my God, we had Neil Young in there. Let me look up the
okay, well,
soundtrack.
hold on. No,
Neil
let
Young,
me redo
Harvest
it.
Moon.
No, let me do it. You're right. I can't. You know what?
We had Heart of Gold by Neil Young.
Okay.
And Eddie Vedder. Fleetwood Mac Dreams.
Okay, no, let me redo it. Can I do it again?
And yeah. change your soundtrack and come back to me. I have the receipts, girl. While she's changing her scores.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm good.
Marvin Gaye.
Yes. I changed it 3.6 for an overall score of 3.55.
So I agree in pretty much every area. Chemistry 3.5, which was good, but I'm just going to lower the score because it took so long to get to that love. Storyline of 3.12, thirst factor 4.1, imagination of 3.25, based off of obviously best-selling memoir material. Soundtrack, though, and this is going to elevate the entire score, it's a 5 out of 5. How dare you think it's anything else? And she's a 3.85. That gives us an overall score that, similar to you, I think it would have been a little bit lower, but it's a 3.80 for me. And this has been the Rom-Com Rewind of Eat, Pray, Love, wherever you're listening. Throw us a follow. And follow us on Instagram. Lots of conversations continue there at Rom-Com Rewind.
Thanks for listening.